to Mackenzie Field on the campus of Kalamazoo College for tonight's men's soccer match between the visitors from Aquinas College and your Kalamazoo College Hornets. Kalamazoo College, the MIAA, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by its student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Now the starting lineups for today's match. First, the visitors from Aquinas. Number 35, Ivan Radovich. Number 2, Carter Kerbowe. Number 4, Edward Hudson III. Number 5, Timothy Phillips. Number 6, Joseph Farhat. Number 7, Emmanuel Bidola. Number 10, Vigrit Hasovich. Number 11, Trey Collins. Number 22, Aiden Bennett. Number 25, Evan Goodfellow. And number 30, Chase Jacob Greaves. The Saints are coached by Luke Ruff. He's assisted by Paulo Pinto, Hector Fernandez, and Ben Adamson. Now the starters for your Hornets. Number 2, Eamon Burns. Number 5, Simon Sawyer. Number 7, Tony Maras Vivaros. Number 10, Henry Plumstead. Number 14, Joey Basil. Number 18, Ben Batrial. Number 20, Lucas Ruiz. Number 22, Antoine Kondraki. Number 25, Junior Matuza. Number 27, Evan Collins Voigt. And number 32, Jackson Jandareski. The Hornets are coached by Mike Haynes. He's assisted by Ty Usiak, Carl Whitehouse, and Scott Haas. We now invite you to stand for the playing of the national anthem.
And just like that. Good evening and thanks for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Kalamazoo Soccer, live from Mackenzie Field here at Kalamazoo College. I'm Tanner White, football alum, class of 22. Don't make me say it too many times. If you're a diehard fan and or you've seen both home matches so far in the young season from the men's and women's sides, you may know that they've both kicked it off on the right foot with wins on home turf. A couple of nights ago, it was the women's team home opener that opened all of athletics for the 2025-6 season. They opened a proverbial can on Beloit, 4-0. A couple of scores from Dualsport star Ruby Hogan, and one apiece for their senior leaders, Elle Burness and Mia Kreitz. The year actually kicked off on Friday night, and so that women's match was Saturday. But back on Friday night, this men's team came out and blanked U of M Dearborn 2-0. The first career start for Jackson Jandereski in goal, and what a start it was. He'll be right back out there with a chance to try and keep another clean sheet. And the Aquinas Scots will be in town. You just heard their lineups read. Boy, we got everybody on the Hornet here, and it's 6:57. Might be able to kick this thing off early. Kalamazoo's just breaking their huddle now. In their opening match of the year, again, the Hornets took down U of M Dearborn 2-0. Those scores came in the 41st minute from Lucas Ruiz and the 68th minute from Henry Plumstead. Those were their two leading scorers from last season. And if those formulas aren't broke, don't fix them. Kickoff, and we are off and running. So Jackson Jandereski was forced to make just 2 saves in his debut. Still, all shutouts count the same. On the other side, Aquinas is going to start Ivan Radovic, a senior keeper from Montenegro. It's funny, you may recognize another name on the Aquinas roster. Dario Cella, their reserve keeper, is a sophomore, and he in fact has experience starting against Kalamazoo. Cella, with Concordia of Ann Arbor last year, started a game which Kalamazoo would win 3-1. In that game, Kalamazoo had a couple of scores from Lucas Ruiz. It was his first game with multiple scores in his career, and Henry Plumstead also netted one, with, unsurprisingly, both of those assisting each other on a goal as well. That was August 31st of last year, so just beyond 1 year. A year and a day, but Cella will not draw the start in this one. Not that the history likely had anything to do with it, as Ivan Radovic in goal was the leader in the clubhouse in terms of wins, saves, and shutouts. His goalkeeping numbers overall in the year, won 9 games in a sort of a timeshare, you could say, with a sophomore keeper at the time, Peyton Hoffman. Hoffman had 5 starts to his credit, and the goals against averages were a little bit favorable in terms of Radovic over Hoffman, but the save percentage did favor the other keeper. And for Kalamazoo, they're replacing a 56 appearance keeper in Gavin Houtcooper, essentially a 4-year starter. There's a little shove in the back. There's no whistle for Kalamazoo 18, Ben Batriol. Kalamazoo's starting lineup behind Jandereski went Eamon Burns, Simon Sawyer, Tony Maras Viveros, Henry Plumstead, as we mentioned, the final goal scorer in the opener against U of M Dearborn. Joey Basil, a junior from Grand Haven defensively. Ben Batriol, as mentioned, he'll play up top. Lucas Ruiz, a forward as well. Antoine Kondraki, Junior Matuza. Evan Pollins-Voigt, one of just 3 seniors on this Kalamazoo roster. And again, Jackson Jandereski, the freshman out of DeWitt, in goal. Kalamazoo got a couple of starts out of Darius Wright III last season, and so some had presumed, especially when looking at the frame of Wright, that he might be the one to take over in goal. But then Jandereski comes out and just absolutely blanks U of M Dearborn, and you kind of understand it. Other keepers on the roster, Kalamazoo also has junior Jack Kreckman. Kreckman appeared and started 1 match last season, went the distance in a draw. And the final keeper on the Kalamazoo roster as well is Antonio Rodriguez, a junior and a local product out of Loy Norix High School. Pardon me, Kalamazoo also brought one more freshman keeper in this season, also from Lloyd Norwich, Brody Adelbert. Free kick coming from fairly deep for the Scots. Scots are under the direction of Luke Ruff. One of those who, once you get into coaching, you end up as a keeper. Jandareski got a piece. It was likely a touch from the Scots 30, Chase Jacob Grease. And probably somebody in the Kalamazoo wall off of the free kick got a little piece. The sun's going to be strong enough throughout likely the first half or so to impede vision a tad. Throw in comes Kalamazoo bench area. Five minutes in, no score. The Hornets and the Aquinas Saints. Kalamazoo will win this possession. Lucas Ruiz tripped up. That's going to be easy enough. It's called on the sophomore defender, Edward Hudson III. It'll be the first foul. A handful of seconds over 5 minutes in, that is. Aquinas, yet to crack the scoreboard yet this season. They had a couple of neutral site contests, played one ranked team, one team receiving votes. And so it is a very difficult non-conference slate that they've chosen. (14) Joey Basil, last touch this. Now ready to throw it in is 11 at forward Trey Collins. Collins with sauce on that throw in. Way too far from Plumstead, 10 in the orange. Plumstead will also be wearing that captain's armband. Looks like Kalamazoo's are pink. It's subtle, but it means a lot to be selected to wear that band. Plumstead, a senior from Traverse City, Michigan, and the Glen Lake area, the active leader in goals in this program. The outcomes for Aquinas last year, it showed like this: a 14-5-1 record, 8-3-1 in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, where they'll play a lot of solid teams. 7-2 at home, 7-3-1 on the road, and then in that WAC final at Indiana Tech, who was the number 2 seed in that tournament, a 2-1 loss that kept them from the automatic bid into the national tournament. Kalamazoo coming off a very different feeling season to them. It was a 5-10-3 record for them overall, 2-3-2 in the MIAA. Probably not where they thought that they were going to be before that season started. Kalamazoo did undergo a head coaching change from last year and another one this year. It was J.D. Nord, Kalamazoo 18, leading them in 2024, and now it's turned over to Mike Haynes, a successful and a smashing debut, really, with that 2-0 blanking of U of M Dearborn. Before either of those gentlemen back in 2023, and well before then, it was Lumumba Shabazz leading the program here in Kalamazoo. 12 years, putting together 100 career wins at a .543 win percentage. And this team made one NCAA tournament appearance with an at-large bid in 2019. There's a whistle. There's a couple of Hornets involved in the play. Batrial, as well as 22 Antoine Kondracki. And Kondracki is the one listed on the foul sheet. Trey Collins will throw back in. The Saints have the only shot up on the board. 2 shots on goal allowed for Kalamazoo in the opener. Had you told them that that's where their defense was going to start on this season, allowing just 2 shots for a freshman keeper in his very first college action, that is maybe beyond their wildest dreams. This ball is blasted way up over everything. And I think all of our ball runners are looking at each other like, okay, what do we do? It went beyond the fence. It went beyond a row of trees that sits sort of nearest to those Western Michigan tennis courts that are probably so far away as to be out of the camera picture. Off the head of Hudson. Out by the Kalamazoo bench. A great snag down there by, I think, the reserve keeper, Antonio Rodriguez. He's got a keeper's kit on, so that narrows it down. And speaking of the kits, Jackson Jandereski is going to be in the green. And for Aquinas, an all-white kit. Very, very cool look for Ivan Radovich. Radovich touching the ball for one of the only times so far. Off of Eamon Burns. Ooh, that had maybe some more potential had Plumstead presumed it would stay in. Indeed, it did go out, though. Matuza for Plumstead. He lost it. Plumstead and Fikret Hasovic, 10 and 10. Trey Collins will throw it back in. Evan Pollinsvoit watches this go. The keeper, Jandereski, picked it up. As we mentioned toward the top, Aquinas is led by head coach Luke Ruff in year 7 with the program, just the 8th coach in program history. And a very accomplished player himself, the GLIAC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, that is, at Northwood University. Has a 60, 32, and 17 record, and it looks like Pollinsvoit is going to be whistled here, holding against Chase Jacob Grease. Easy for us to say. And the overall record there, it's strong, of course. The conference record, fantastic. 41, 16, and 8 in that Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Batrial cutting off 22, Aiden Bennett. Bennett, one of a couple of international students, all the way from Aylesbury, England. As we mentioned, the starting keeper, Radovich, hails from Montenegro. Kondracki went up high. He's lucky to have not gotten a piece of the midfielder in front of him. Ruiz lays one out. Tony Mares Viveros bluffed a couple of times. Now shoots on one hop and a save for Radovich. And if that becomes maybe a little cleaner one-timer without the extra touch, perhaps it's in the back of the net. We've played nearly 14 minutes, still scoreless, between Kalamazoo and Aquinas from Mackenzie Field. Tanner White with Kalamazoo men's soccer. Matuza was quickly double marked. Timothy Phillips knocked it away from him. Matuza will get it back. Eamon Burns has options, centers the ball. Matuza still sees this loose. Eventually, Saints do have room, and they do have clearance. Took a while. Joseph Farhat tried to thread it up. Trey Collins up the right flank. Phillips unloads. A long ball, emphasis on long. 25, Evan Goodfellow is pointing Aquinas' way. He says, okay, this is certainly ours. That last came off of Joey Basil. Throw in from near the flag. And we are 15 minutes in. No score. So for Aquinas, it's easy to get frustrated with almost 200 straight minutes without a score to open the season. As you mentioned, though, they've played a couple of fantastic teams. Governors State, a 24th ranked team in Division III, and then Carroll College of Montana. 2-0 the first loss, but then the draw was scoreless. It's difficult to complain too much about what you've done defensively. Plus, a single goal can feel like a massive shot in the arm, especially if that's all it takes to get that first win on the board. And it would create the symmetry of the scoreboard, the 1-1-1. Jandareski lets it fly. Other Kalamazoo athletics news. The somewhat bummer to it all is after this one, you're going to have to wait a little while for our next broadcast. It's going to be a week and a day from now, as Ruiz had a player sort of slide off his back, and Ruiz is the one called for the foul. Hasovic was the injured party, we say judiciously. Basil, the on-ball defender right now. A right-footed shot blocked. Quickly up to punt, the keeper, Jackson Jandareski. Pollins Voigt, a header in the right direction. We mentioned he's one of just 3 Kalamazoo seniors. It is a freshman class of 17, which we've looked back pretty deep into the records, about as far as we have records for, and have never found a larger freshman class. Those seniors are Evan Pollins Voigt, as we mentioned, Henry Plumstead, as well as a senior defender, 17, AJ Ketterer. I was just informed today that the AJ stands for Andrew Johnson, like the president. .27.5 minutes to play in half number 1. The Hornets and the Saints deadlocked. Simon Sawyer from long range goes short to his left for Eamon Burns. Burns, not a whole lot of slice. Pollins Voigt did get ahead on it to go the right direction, and the keeper Radovich has got it. And he's in no rush to get this away from him. A number of the cogs, there's another foul and gonna be a fairly big collision right there between Kondracki and Grease. As it sorts out, it is a foul called on Kondracki. A number of the cogs that really turned the engine on attack for this team last season, Aquinas that is, have moved on. Ricardo Rittersberger, a senior from last year, is dotted all along their career records. Netted 18 goals last season and was the team leader in points as well with 40. also chipped in 4 assists for good measure. Yusuf Hakmawi was another outstanding point creator himself with 18 on 14 assists. So created nearly as many goals and goal opportunities as did Ricardo Rittersberger. He's now come back and joined the squad as a manager and assistant coach. Just a few of Ricardo Rittersberger's incredible numbers beyond the 18 goals and the 40 points that leap off at you. Led the team with 42 shots on goal, 9 of those scores game winners, and went 5 of 6 on PKs. To even have 6 opportunities in a season is a huge number, and converting 5 out of 6 with a couple of those also being game winners, good night. This ball is going to be out off Kalamazoo, going over to the corner, Carter Kerbawe. We'll await this corner kick now. Clock continues to run. We're over 20 minutes in. So in the 21st minute of this match, Aquinas has officially opened with over 200 minutes of scoreless play to begin 2024. But for so many good, completely valid reasons. Corner kick is served off Pollen's foot. Get it out of here. This is launched from forever. It got a piece of somebody. Jandareski. Off of Timothy Phillips. Now, we rarely have the best views, as thought play had been stopped here and we were expecting another corner. Then it was carried in by Fikret Hazovic as if it were a live ball. Well, he's pulling it back out for the corner kick attempt now. That makes most sense to us. Anyway, from our look at that last play, we thought it may have gone, as Jandareski gets a punch on this, we thought it may have gone off of the hand, the wrapped right hand of Phillips. What a play to fly in from Trey Collins from out of the camera screen. A header high. That is a couple of centimeters from the top of the forehead of Edward Hudson from being buried. And this is still danger. This ball is going to just practically cross the center line as it goes out. Timothy Phillips not in too much of a rush to toss this in. Again, he's got wrap all along that right hand. It's real noticeable for Phillips, and he just retrieved something from a ball runner. Is it a strap or a compression brace on the right leg or something like that? Can't quite tell from here. It's going to be a foul on the Saints. Kondracki down for half a moment. Oh, he's still on a knee now. He is actually motioning to the trainer. You don't see that oh so often. More than likely, it's going to be a teammate, typically, that'll make that move. But Kondracki now getting looked at by the trainer. Gives us another moment to pour over those stats from the first match. Kalamazoo had scores from Lucas Ruiz as well as Henry Plumstead. They were forced to play only 2 field players for all 90 minutes. Those two being Simon Sawyer and Evan Pollinsvoigt. They got a lot of guys off of their feet after they had largely controlled that one. It was Ruiz, 41st minute from Tony Mares Viveros, and then Plumstead in the 68th. Ruiz, of course, as it was the first score, was credited with the game winner. For Henry Plumstead, that goal gave him 16 for his career. As we mentioned, he is the active leader and puts him up to 42 total points as well. And just to give a little bit more historical context, we were able to mention this during Kalamazoo's opening match as well. 42 points. Quite a respectable career. He's still got, of course, the opportunity to build on it. He still hopes to have a conference tournament appearance and all of that, and the team has every reason to expect that they can get there. But the single season record for just goals, let alone points, at Kalamazoo is 42 on its own by Mark Tarikian back in 1985. It was buoyed by a 10-goal output in a single game, again, from that same player, Mark Tarikian, back in 1985, a game here versus Olivet. 42 goals to one season. Go ahead and do the math, but unreal. If you want to crack the top 10 for single season scoring in Kalamazoo, you've got to be at 16. You haven't seen anybody do that since 2003. Throw in coming. Kalamazoo in the attacking half. Matuza, a header. Flubbed it in the right direction. Mares Viveros, and one step maybe too far from Ruiz. Over to the keeper, Radovic. .31 goals would also be a number to land a player in the top 10 in the career for Kalamazoo. So for Plumstead to get there, you're talking roughly 1 goal per match the rest of the way here. He's currently on 16, and he'd need 15 more of them. Has all the ability and will have all the opportunities to do it. In that match last year against Concordia Ann Arbor, as we mentioned, that was the one where they faced Dario Cella, who is a transfer and currently now on the Aquinas roster while he was with Concordia Ann Arbor. All of Kalamazoo's 10 shots on goal in that game were accounted for by just Ruiz and Henry Plumstead. Speaking of opportunities. And foul is called once again here on the Saints. Looks like Kerbawe. Pardon, 6 Farhat. Jandareski lines it up. Goal kick. Phillips wanted none of that. Plumstead is hooked around the waist. That took a while to call, but certainly appears to be the right one. Ooh, and I think that brings with it a yellow card. It wasn't the most demonstrative presentation that we've had of one around the MAC before. Sometimes it can be a spectacle. Aquinas had a player that a number of people were clamoring for offsides on, but you hadn't got the ready for play whistle. Now there it is. Mares Viveros from his left to bring it in on goal. Save Radovic. Clock winding towards about 19 minutes to play here for the half. This is soft served, skied up, and you wonder if that had enough brutal curve, could that have found maybe back corner? It's probably a very good play by Jandareski to not let it be decided by physics. And Plumstead down again. Foul. Saints, they're going to start racking up a little bit. There's 5 apiece right now. And I believe as that next one is enforced, that'll be 6 on Aquinas' side. It's a big number for rather early on. And maybe is Plumstead altering his stride a little bit. Now it's funny, I believe he comes back and this time he is the one, while pressing, who is called for the foul this time. Plus, keep an eye again on Plumstead and his stride. See if anything is nagging at him. And that's going to be an easy enough call. That's freshman Elijah Vu. Vu helped in creating the first score from Ruiz off of a well-placed corner kick. Ruiz would rebound it and clean it up. Simon Sawyer to bring this back in. The keeper Radovich in a monster collision. So that goal is going to be waved off. Ouch. Oh, no. There's no way you can protect yourself when you are trying to meet that ball at the summit. And instead you're just meeting a player. Oh, boy. Now, the greatest irony would be if they decide they need to make a change at keeper, and it becomes Dario Chela again, who has seen Kalamazoo before in that exact same goal in which Radovich is now with a different program. He's up. He's up, and that's the good news. As Radovich brings this back in. Mares Viveros. Touch to Matuza. Matuza got a couple of options. Batriol, cross blocked. That recovery speed from Trey Collins was serious. Now it's one of those instances where the ball goes down in that furthest left corner from us, and you've got to lean out the window a little bit to see what's happening. Elijah Vu is the one that will throw this in. Vu pump faked a couple of times. Now goes in a little bit too far from Plumstead. This should stay down there, as well as it stays in play for a moment. No longer. Matuza, Vu, let's see who's going to take this throw in. It will be Vu. Elijah Vu is another freshman from DeWitt. High school teammates of a couple of other Hornets. Zach Holden is also a freshman, as well as Jandareski in goal, all from DeWitt. A powerhouse program in the state of Michigan in so many sports, but among them the soccer program. If you've gotten to see DeWitt football and the explosive kind of offense they can put out, it's a spectacle. One of those that expects to ends up typically at Ford Field for championship weekend. I was fortunate enough to get to go on a playoff run, as it were, covering the DeWitt radio network with their girls basketball team as they made a run to the state quarterfinals. The last Kalamazoo round of substitutions, Ruiz did sit, and Colby Connor came in. So if you're keeping track rather at home, Ruiz is 20. And Colby Connor is 15. 15 for 20 in the orange. And when Kalamazoo showed up for warm-ups in the opening match, and we found out they were going to wear all oranges with the black stripes this season, we were absolutely thrilled. Kalamazoo has a number of white uniform combinations that have been real common, and they're one of not so many teams that often elects to wear white. That is, wear white at home. But these all-orange kits, especially with orange socks, and even some players leaned into it far enough as to go with orange cleats, that's a dedication to a look. Plumstead is just pestering. And Phillips walls everybody off, then the keeper Radovich down low slides on it. Eamon Burns watches this little rollback, see if he has eyes down in order to clear. Not for very long. And naturally the ball then finds him defensively. Matuza lofts it up, but nobody's there for Kalamazoo. Trey Collins will throw this back in. Vu gets a piece. Maras Vivero swift a little bit, and the foul looks like it goes on Hasevich. Brody Plumstead now checks on for Kalamazoo. The younger brother of Henry, both from the Traverse City area, but a couple of different high schools, as we mentioned in the opener. Henry from Glen Lake, and Brody from TC West. Aquinas' substitution here is Joseph Farhat out and Carson Tucker in. Tucker wearing 26 in the maroon. The keeper could have called fair catch there. We're under 12 minutes for the first half. Scoreless. After that last foul assessed to Hasevich, the fouls are 8 apiece. That is a really, really big number for a 34th minute of a match. Aquinas also had one yellow card that was maybe something of a quick trigger, but it was assessed to Edward Hudson. Boy, these are just, oh, they keep coming. It's another yellow card up. We had to say something. Boy, that was quick. 2 yellows have both gone on the Saints in 33 minutes and 45 seconds of playtime in a match that's had, lots of pushes and shoves on either side. It's kind of surprising. Burns lofts this ball with hope. Sometimes hope's all you need. And a shot blocked. Burns is thinking the same thing. Let me just throw it down there, see is anybody in position to make a play. Off of Brody Plumstead. Trey Collins, as he has so often, he'll throw it back. Here's Batrial. And now after a double team with him, do we see another card? I think right now the answer is no. you could argue that much more so warranted one, as opposed to the last yellow that we saw but 1 minute ago or so. That one was assessed to Greece. Spicy, saucy, and tight. If you had to pick 3 words for this match so far, maybe if you were given a little bit more time, I would come up with 3 other ones as well. But that's probably always the case. Those certainly apply right now. You've got Mares Viveros and Elijah Vu. Mares Viveros on the free kick. Again, not a whole lot of slice to it. It doesn't get too many players with a direct line to the goal. Good pressure from Matuza and 15 Colby Connor. That last ball hit off of his back. Saints have struggled undeniably to clear. Lots and lots of whistles. 3 yellow cards, all assessed on one side so far. 10 total fouls on Saints 2, 8 against Kalamazoo. And how much more chippy, rather, might it get if it continues to be scoreless, getting down into the waning couple of minutes? Keeper Jander Eski. Now, it's funny, he was in position to get undercut probably by Carson Tucker, which you've already seen happen to Radovic on the other side, the Aquinas keeper. So maybe now players are actually starting to keep their head a little bit more and be real cognizant of, okay, let's not get anybody tossed from this. Burns, tough tackle that time. It's one of not very many that we haven't seen whistled, but clean on ball against Tucker. Throw in coming from near the corner. When you do zoom out and you recall that Aquinas just hasn't scored yet this season, and this is the 3rd match, it's really easy to let frustrations show in everything that you do. They've probably done, for what it's worth, not so bad a job of that. 2 of the yellow cards you could probably give a good deal of debate to. Batrial might cross with the left. He got it thrown right back at him. And now he's down. Collins is saying, okay, not on that one. There's no way. But others were saying, well, maybe that's going to be another yellow card. 3 shots on goal apiece. These keepers have been, you can't say relaxed, but haven't been under fire. Jandreski already, though, with more saves in this first half, or this first 30-some minutes, as it were, than he had to make his entire debut. A pretty sweet deal that was. Show up in your very first start, blank a Dearborn team, celebrate it, and in the end, what do the stats matter? You only got 2 saves. It's, as we mentioned, all those shutouts count the same. A round of substitutions on both sides. We'll let you know as soon as we get those. 6 shots to 5. 3 shots on goal apiece. Now, one thing Kalamazoo hasn't managed yet is any corner kick opportunities. They did make the most of those against U of M Dearborn.
You better put a card on that one, ref.
It's a long, slow trot, very deliberately over by Hasovic. He'll take this ball in under 7 minutes, first half. Hasevich, not a bad spot. Couldn't tell who it came off of. This is still not clear by any means. It's in the net from Edward Hudson. And the Saints can breathe that slightest sigh of relief. It took a long time. Hopefully that wait was worth it for that first Aquinas goal for the season. It comes here on the road in Kalamazoo. Oh, no. Oh, they've waved it off entirely. Pardon me. Thought that there was a chance somebody was going to get caught offside. It was probably not the would-have-been goal scorer Hudson, but we'll never know exactly who was cut off until we get the time to go back and watch it. Maybe we'll be able to watch it more at half. Man, for all the world, it looked like Aquinas was going to net that first one for the year. To have that ripped away unceremoniously, ouch. And yet, they're threatening, again, good-looking possession. They've had airspace now on just the last couple of shots. Everything up until that point was quite tight. Is it tired legs? Does Kalamazoo need to make a couple of substitutions? Let's find out. Plumstead, edge of the box. Drifting to his left. Oh, could you imagine? It's a hair high. Plumstead's striking ability. It's one of those you watch film and takes you but 2 or 3 minutes to say, ah, let's circle that guy. 16 career scores makes him the leader among actives. Ooh, a feed nearly got all the way into Plumstead and could have been one-on-one. Simon Sawyer caught right out by the midfield to Phillips. Still, Kalamazoo is decisively holding the edge in possession time. And yet, it looked for all the world that Aquinas had scored first. Now that run maybe, we speculate, could have ended in an offside as well there from Greece, had it not been truncated early. Foul here. Card looks like it was already in the hand immediately. That was swift. Man. Ooh, is that contact with the referee too? Okay, we'll see what they're going to do. Our first guess is foul on Batrial, but the card on Trey Collins, probably. And I thought we really saw Collins make contact with that official. That is a scary proposition. We'll have a better idea on that when we come out of half. We'll let you know. Still scoreless. 42nd minute. And so, for the 6 shots allowed, the 3 shots on goal allowed, Kalamazoo's got to be thinking, man, our defense has positively come to play. There's another little 2-car pileup. But that they have had an unbelievable defensive start with their first almost match and a half done. Goal kick coming. Jackson Jandareski. Haven't really had to say his name hardly at all. And the only reason really that it came up often in the opener was, well, because he's not facing any shots at all. Because Kalamazoo defensively suffocated, essentially whistle to whistle, that entire Wolverine squad. 2 shots on goal against. And already Aquinas has gone beyond that in this first half, but by just 1 with 3. Your elementary math lesson. This is off of Elijah Vu. The Saints toss in. 2 minutes, 45 seconds. That last Kalamazoo round of substitution, Eamon Burns came out. And Kalamazoo went with Augie Creamer coming on. An international student from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And there was airspace to be had, but Paulins Voigt continues to just lock it down. It's an imposing frame that he brings. Man, another foul is going to be called here. This should be 21 total fouls for the first half. So far, anyway, you don't want to say that there's not going to be any more with the little bit of time that we have. Paulins Voigt has made 37 starts, including this one tonight. Scored 1, which ended up being a game winner last season. But essentially now 3 straight years as an every match starter and a standout defensively. This is one of those rare programs that doesn't list heights and weights. But I can tell you, having been down on the field for warm-ups, Paulins Voigt is the tallest out there. A minute, 15 seconds. $11 fouls to 10. We'll just reiterate that one time. Aquinas with the 11. The 1 offside took a goal off the board, off the head of Edward Hudson. And so that means you've nearly gone, on the Saints side, 5 halves without a score. It's funny, you can hear the crowd saying go, go, go right now. There is a corner kick coming. But how many tries are you going to get if this isn't successful? They don't go on goal with it. Now they launch this. Oh, boy. Speaking of not quite on goal. But somebody could have eaten their words right there. Evan Goodfellow from forever just missed. Under 15 seconds, and the keeper, Jandareski, I think said, yeah, I've seen enough. It's been too eventful of a first half. I want a boring one. And that will do it for the first half. It goes scoreless, though maybe not how you thought we'd get there. The 1 goal that was seemingly scored off the head of Edward Hudson III was waved off on an offside. We still speculate that it might not have been his own. It might have been somebody else's. It doesn't change the fact that that scoreboard did not change. In that first half, Kalamazoo put 6 shots up, 3 of them on goal. And on the Aquinas side, 7 shots, 3 on goal as well. Corner kicks are 5 to none. That's something that Kalamazoo really wants to work on. And it's funny, considering how much possession they were able to hold, that they did not end up with any corner kick opportunities. Yellow cards, 4 of them on the Aquinas side. A lot of gentlemen that need to be cognizant of that in the second half. You have 1 apiece for Hudson Phillips, Trey Collins, and Chase Jacob Grease. Some may be more warranted than others, but again, just something to think about were anybody to get in other altercations when we proceed to the second half. Speaking of, that's where we're going to head right now. We're going to take a brief break. And, well, you rest your ears, you get a snack, get a drink, all of those things that we love to do as well. And we'll be back in less than 15 minutes for the second half. The Kalamazoo Hornets here at home on Mackenzie Field, taking on the Aquinas Saints. It's scoreless, and we'll be back. And we are back for the second half. 45 more minutes on the clock to sort this thing out. The Kalamazoo Hornets and the Aquinas Saints. It's the second match out for the men's side, and the women's side also in Kalamazoo was successful in their home opener. So everybody looking to keep the max record perfect so far for the season, if you will. Our keeper matchup, if you weren't with us in the first half, Ivan Radovich on the Aquinas Saints side. He's in the white kit. You can't miss it. All white, everything, including the gloves and the socks. And for Kalamazoo, it's Jackson Jandereski. If they've found sort of a wonderkin, this is a really good time to know it. In just their second match, this guy hasn't allowed a goal yet, has made 5 saves, and also has been kept fabulously clean by Kalamazoo defensively. Aquinas has yet to net a score in this 2025 season yet. This is their third match out. As we mentioned, they had a very, very difficult beginning to their schedule. We didn't even mention they scrimmaged at Hope, a team that expects to find itself at least receiving some votes and likely probably feels that they can even hang with Calvin, who was picked first overall in the MIAA coaches preseason poll. Then those 2 matches that Aquinas has played so far, they were neutral site contest versus 24th ranked Governors State, as well as Carroll College of Montana, a team that's receiving votes right now in the national polls. They'll have quite a long break with this one. After playing Kalamazoo, they'll have a full 11 days off. Then back on the 13th, they'll be at home. Kalamazoo's upcoming schedule, they'll see a big, long road trip on both the men's and women's sides. In fact, we'll tell you more about that when we get there. But 5 straight matches away and way away. Traveling to Georgetown, Texas and San Antonio, Texas in one fell swoop there. First, it'll be Southwestern and then at Trinity. That's going to be September 5th and 7th. That's Friday to Sunday. They'll return home for a while. Thankfully, classes won't quite have started yet here on campus. Then, Saturday the 13th, a couple of Saturdays from now, they'll be at Illinois Wesleyan in Bloomington, Illinois. That next day, all the way to Dubuque, Iowa to play Loris. And Oberlin, Ohio will end that 5 road match streak. That'll be Saturday the 20th. You won't see this same Hornet squad back here until Wednesday, September 24th. A reminder, this is Labor Day. This is the 1st of September. Crazy. Saints had space if that could have been put up. It was. Now it's well wide with Vikrit Hasovic. Hasovic, a junior from Grand Rapids, was one of, well, not so many starters who wasn't hit with a yellow card in that first half. You had 4 different Saints receiving yellow cards. Edward Hudson, Timothy Phillips. I think we had one that was changed at the half to reflect that it was on Evan Goodfellow, and the final one was Chase Jacob Grease. It's not to say that Kalamazoo played their cleanest of halves, as this is well over everything. And maybe a defender got a piece as well. Shot way high, and that'll be 9 shots total taken by the Saints. Again, it's not to say that Kalamazoo played their absolute cleanest half. That could be up for debate. But it is to say that they probably didn't think they were going to start off this hot defensively. And exactly the opposite is true of Aquinas on attack. They probably didn't expect to go, 2.5 matches plus now without a score. It was a maybe net less than stellar Kalamazoo defensive team last year. That's one of the reasons why we say that. As well as Aquinas was a fantastic scoring unit. They scored 50 goals in 20 matches last year. 2.5 per. is a fantastic issue to have. We mentioned they're missing a lot of the firepower. Objectively, they are. Brody Plumstead had a good chance at this. Ruiz will snap off left-footed! Bang! Ruiz from downtown. He's got another. It's been an avalanche on the MAC so far. Lucas Ruiz, 51st minute. High left up over the shoulder. Beyond the full extension of Ivan Radovich. Hornets lead. Ruiz has 2 on the young season.
Hornets goal scored by number 20, Lucas Ruiz.
Ruiz was second on this team in scores last year, but that was with just 4. He's already got 2 in the first 130 minutes or so. He's going to be a force. Got to account for Ruiz at all times now. The Miami, Florida product. Ruiz has now netted 8 goals and really was not a full-time starter as a freshman. Played 829 minutes. That's not insignificant, and started 7 of those matches. But last year, turned it on and became sort of what he was supposed to be. 17 starts, all of them for Kalamazoo. Scored 4 goals, 2 assists. Had surprisingly, maybe, just 1 game winner. And that was last year against, as we mentioned, a couple of times in the first half, the current reserve keeper for Aquinas, Dario Cella, when he was a member of the Concordia of Ann Arbor Cardinals. This is blocked. Not sure if it was a shot or a cross from Aiden Bennett, but it does bring a corner kick. That much we do know. Now I'll lean irresponsibly far out the window to see when this corner kick is coming. Again, that's just what we've got to do when we get these tight angles. Off of Pollen's Voigt again. And another shot had sauce, but it is wide. Trey Collins that time. These whistles, everybody gets off that bench. You got a player down. I think it's Batriol right by the golf cart. Well, that's the one, if you want to call it a silver lining, that you could say. Trainer doesn't have to go anywhere. Your head coach is right next to you to take care of you. I don't know that the players feel that way, that there's such thing as a silver lining there. Hornets are also hit with a yellow card here. That's going to be their second one. First one was on Batriol. See if we can sort out who that one was on in a moment. Little bit over the head of Plumstead. Excuse me, that yellow card is now going to go on Hasevich. That's kind of what we thought. As the Hornet down, we tried to figure it out while he was still down there. Possibly Brody Plumstead. It's funny, between the 10 and 11, they just look so much like each other. They've just got a beautiful connection. Wow, what a challenge from the keeper Radovich. Could you imagine if in the course of both Brody and Hank being talked about that they just decide, yeah, we're going to connect for a goal right here for the first time. How magical that would be. Here's the thing. There's likely going to be more opportunities for exactly that. Hank's going to chase this one down, up left flank. Back to his right. Drops a couple defenders. He's got plenty of space. Goes to Mares Viveros. And there's a whistle, I think, well away from the play. Yeah, I don't think this was anything to do with the on-ball defender. Man, that last stuff from Radovic on Plumstead, it could have been a really commanding lead at 2 goals for the specific fact that this team has not scored since last season. Since the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Final. They advance through the first couple of rounds of that. Then they meet a very talented Indiana Tech squad and are dropped in that one 2-1. Sort of like they haven't recovered. And still, a single goal from wherever they can get it would be such a shot in the arm. So much firepower from last year that is no longer on the roster, including Ricardo Rittersberger and his 18 goals and 4 assists. Mason Sills as well. Sills was the second leading goal scorer on this side with 7. And fouls and cards are just going to keep piling right now. 5 yellow cards. There is one, again, on the Kalamazoo side as well to Batrial, but 5 just for the Saints. Hudson, Phillips, Hasevich, Goodfellow, Grease. Free kick coming from near the center line. And this next yellow, we're told, is on Trey Collins. Make it 6-1. The offsides are 1 apiece. That Ruiz score really changed the physicality switch. Oh, it is clearly flipped now because that was another pretty big shot put on, a little forearm shiver by Kondracki. Edge of the box here, a shot blocked. Went off of Simon Sawyer. Carter Kerbawe trying to create all his own. Kerbawe's going to need some help. Ooh, there was a player in the box. I think it was Hasevich. Pass didn't get all the way there. A shot snapped off and saved. Goodfellow into the chest. Jackson Jandareski, don't tell me there's another card here. This is stunning. There's a block being awarded. Didn't quite catch who on that shot from Goodfellow. No, now it will be a save. That's 4 shots on goal for Aquinas, all saved by Jackson Jandareski. This guy has got to be thinking, is this goalkeeping thing so hard? I don't know. What's the issue? And again, from a powerhouse program at DeWitt. Oh, it's nearly Plumstead for Plumstead again. I'm telling you, there's going to be more opportunities for this. Mares Viveros wants a handball big time. Off of Kerbawe, he did not get it. Ruiz on the sideline. He was backed down by Kerbawe. Kalamazoo ball. I think we're going to have a stoppage and a substitution first. And we will. Plumstead is going to come off right now. That is Henry. However, Brody still out there. Well, so maybe Henry's kind of had his fun. He's had his 16 scores and been a part of the tournament before. He knows what it's like to be on those big stages. Kalamazoo made the tournament last year and had to travel to the top-seeded Calvin, all this and that and the other thing. Maybe Henry's thinking, okay, let's get Brody plenty of playing time now. Let's see the future and what he can come and offer beyond this year. But if those do connect, I've got to see the celebration. I've got to know if they had already coordinated one. Each and every goal celebration is special, and many players have them between just themselves and maybe one other if they are known to have a stellar connection. If they've known each other for a long time. Ooh, Pollensvoit. And this, I'm still looking for the card in a hand. Sometimes we can see it real clear that they were reaching for it. Sometimes we don't. Okay, yellow card for Pollensvoit. The wall is going to set up. There's 33-plus minutes to play. Still, that Ruiz score at the 51st is the only one we've got so far. This is Fikret Hasovic, wide. That's 14 shots total for the Saints. They've put 5 of them on goal. It's fairly similar to the ratio that Kalamazoo had in that first match. Again, blanking U of M Dearborn 2-0. They shot 23 times, though. The volume was absolutely on point for them, but they put 8 of those on goal with their 2 scores. Airspace, again, another shot blocked. They'll bring this in from the corner. It continues to be Fikret Hasovic. Hasovic last year as a sophomore. 6 scores for him, plus a couple assists. There's still space in there. Jandareski flopped on it. Belly flopped just before the goal line. If you can count all of the touches, everyone who had a foot or some sort of body part on that ball, more power to you. 24 scores for Kalamazoo in 18 games last year, down from 33 in 2023. And the record reflected that. Again, a 5-10-3 finish for Kalamazoo with a 2-3-2 MIAA mark. It's a conference that they expect. I think if you were to poll every player and say, okay, where should we end this season? At minimum, they would all tell you in the tournament. Oh, the keeper got out of the way. And then Ruiz was posted up. Ball didn't get to him. Kalamazoo is going to keep possession, throw it in. Such a young team to start a season so fast is pretty rare. It is, again, we still assume the largest freshman class of all time here in this men's soccer program with 17. 4 sophomores, 9 juniors, only 3 seniors. There is so much to like and look forward to for years to come here on the MAC, especially with this program. Other issues that you could point to from last year, especially as opposed to where the program typically is statistically. Just 76 total shots on goal through those 18 matches, a little bit over 4 per, as opposed to 121 shots on goal. A run cut off. Is that Sawyer on the defensive recovery again? Him and Pollensvoit both. If you're grading the film here, gold stars on a lot of different plays from them. And the Hornets also put 40% of shots on goal last year, down from 46% previously, either in 2023. Easy for us to say, right? Now, noticeably, nobody there but the keeper himself. And in the end, the guy launches a little bit too far, and Radovic is thinking, man, I could have probably put that on target and maybe gotten my first score. Oh, boy. That is an eventful sequence. And, of course, it's only right. It should be Ruiz that was bearing down on him like that to make the keeper challenge so far, nearly on that Hornet logo. It's right about where the ball comes to here, by the way. Pollen's Voigt to just loft it down. And this did stay inside the fence. I still wonder if any of our ball runners have managed to retrieve that one from earlier on that is a couple of fences away and behind a row of trees. There's one gap in the fence which you can escape from here at the field level, so you don't have to run all the way out. I don't know if that's worth it, though. Roughly 28 minutes remaining. And if it were 3 scoreless matches to open the season for Aquinas, there's going to be a lot of frustrations to be had for those, again, 11 days while they're sort of stewing before they get to take the field again at home against Taylor. From there, they'll be well into their Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference season. Much easier to shorten that to WAC, isn't it? That WAC opener will be against Madonna. They'll be at home in that one, taking on the Madonna Crusaders. Saturday the 13th at 3 p.m. That's another team that is receiving votes in national polls. There is a ton of great matchups to be had. And again, this team, Aquinas, last year made it to that WAC final. Catch your breath. Kerbawi drifting back to his right, off of Burns. Man, you could hear Burns from here. I think he thought that ball had perhaps gone out. Little shoving match with Sawyer and Bennett. No one's going to leave this game super satisfied today, even if this lead stays where it is or more. And, you know, Kalamazoo preserves the shutout. You get another clean sheet for the first 2 starts for Jandareski, both doing that. There's still going to be just, as this header does go high off of Hudson, there's still just going to be animosity. There's going to be, you know, a lot of things on film. The coaches say, okay, clean this up. We don't want these yellow cards. They've piled up on both sides. They're 6-3. The foul numbers are astronomical. Nobody's going to be 100% satisfied. Also, it's worth noting, Kalamazoo has still yet to take a single corner kick, as opposed to 8 for Aquinas. Hornets watched this one roll. Plumstead was saying, hey, let it go, let it go. And in the end, the Saints did get possession. The one score still stands from Lucas Ruiz. He scored the game winner in the home opener. He's got another one up right now. And Aquinas has 17 shots, just 4 on goal. Henry Plumstead did come back on at that last round of substitutions, and Mares Viveros came out. Kerbawi continues to lead the charge. He is stuffed again from Burns. Bounding ball, blocked. Another corner kick is going to come. So make it 9 corner kicks to none. And yet, what can they do with it? 1 goal was scored and waved off on an offside from Aquinas. This comes off of Sawyer for Kalamazoo. Another shot is stung from Goodfellow. But 19 shots now and only 4 on goal. That kind of ratio is not sustainable. It's not the kind of thing you can consistently win with. You hate to say it, but the numbers will back that up just about every time. 9 different goal scorers for Kalamazoo last season. Not a massive number. Those scores were a little bit concentrated. As we mentioned, Henry Plumstead was their leading scorer with 5. Then you had Ruiz as well as Ben Batriol with 4 apiece. 5 total Hornets scored more than 1. Ruiz is already off to a fantastic start with 2 in less than 2 matches so far. That's a first row ball near where you often see more of a student section. You don't have quite as much of that with not everybody back to school yet. Again, 2 weeks from today, the first day of classes on the 15th. There are other teams represented, as there is in every single home contest here. Couple members of the football team. They've got off days on Mondays. Couple of members of the women's soccer team. Got a really good parent showing in the chairs that you probably won't see too much in the camera feed on either side of the bleachers. So in that way, it's sort of, you know, bring your own chair, seating room only kind of deal. So, all things considered, a good crowd, just not a ton of students. Halfway through this final half, the Hornets and the Aquinas Saints. 1-0, the 1 score from Lucas Ruiz, 51st minute. You've got both Henry as well as Brody Plumstead out there for Kalamazoo. That connection could still be alive. Ruiz to start a run. Ruiz will hit it ahead for Henry. Plumstead dekes a couple, and then a recovery from Tim Phillips. Burns is taking people's lunch money right now. Oh, we can't believe that Kalamazoo didn't win possession on that. The whistle, throw in coming. Right by that trainer's golf cart. Little bit of space. Now more. Across and a shot wide. Oh boy, there was so much room to be had there. And Bennett sliced it. That hurts. Now you got to remember the Hornets down. I think it's Simon Sawyer. We'll find out in another couple of moments. The trainer's out there. Ouch. It was Emmanuel Bedoya who was probably in position to shoot himself with the right, go back post against Jandareski. He decides, okay, cross this late. And then Aiden Bennett, as he collects it, is kind of met with nothing and just wide when he shot. So we do see Simon Sawyer coming off right now. That's the good news, is he's not the one that's down, but we're still not quite able to ascertain the number. Injury stoppage, 20 minutes, 46 seconds to play. Now we'll get a good look. And it is Junior Matuza. Matuza's going to get a hand. In the midst of it all, a goal kick from Jackson Janderski. This guy has yet to surrender a score, if you don't count the one that was waved off on an offside. Aquinas had netted one, and it took a little while for the signal to be made. Again, we still didn't catch exactly who was caught offside. It could have been the scorer, Hudson. This could be Plumstead! Wide by a couple feet. It could have been the exact same goal scorers in nearly the same timestamps as the opener. Plumstead scored 68th minute on Friday night. Ruiz, 41st. And then, of course, tonight, the 51st minute is close enough, right? We nearly had it. Even so, again, there's probably going to be more opportunities for exactly that. Punishing opponent mistakes. It is oh so crucial. Aquinas just hasn't been able to do it once yet so far. Again, if you don't count the goal that maybe they should have had with the offside. But then you can say the offside is something of a mental mistake too. The throw-in's going to be coming from the attacking right. Everybody's pointing at each other. And Kalamazoo ball. Janderski has a moment to take a sip of water here. He is the last one that should be in any kind of hurry. Under 19 minutes. The last Kalamazoo sub when Matuza came out was Colby Connor coming in. You're not quite at the point that you can hear every single tick of the clock yet. Probably, and you shouldn't be. And yet, a team that hasn't scored for nearly 3 full matches worth, maybe they hear it on almost every tick. Maybe from the opening kickoff, they're thinking, oh my goodness, what do we got to do here? Plumstead stuffed! Oh, again, the keeper Radovich with a miraculous stop against the most prolific goal scorer on this squad. Plumstead's thinking, okay, I should have 2 or 3 of these, and now everybody's incredulous along the sideline too, talking possession here. Joey Basil will not be awarded with it. Carter Kerbawe, he threw it back in. You continue to have a lot of pointing. One side, of course, has to point possession their way, and the other the opposite. It's an obligation, right, of an athlete in whatever sport you're playing. Well, you just got to point your way and see if that influences anybody's decision. Plumstead continues pressing the keeper, making him think about it every time, and yet Radovich has made some thieveries. And this will be whistled a foul on Brody Plumstead. Brody's going to be operating at least primarily in the midfield. And Henry Plumstead, again, is the best, most prolific striker on this Kalamazoo squad. Lofted in. Maybe got a tiny piece of Kerbawe. That's where it was intended. Phillips with the wrapped up hand. Off on the attacking right. They'll bring it back near the center with Goodfellow. Goodfellow to Hasevich. Ruiz, a piece. Ooh, I think Ruiz just swiped at the ball a little bit there. Now I think he's getting a warning, but this doesn't have a card from everything that we can see from here. It could be an honest mistake, thinking, okay, Ruiz was pretty certain that he was going to take the throw in and that it was a Kalamazoo possession. Could be. You know, if you went down and asked a player post-game on that, depends on who is asking them the answer that they would give, but who knows? The corner kicks are now going to be 10-0. So, Kalamazoo, of course, they've scored the 1 goal. Ruiz continues to have a fantastic start. And yet they got to be thinking, we need to consistently score more than 1. Every match out there, we'd like to score more than 1. So they have themselves probably missed some opportunities, and corner kicks would have generated more of those. Plumstead, the one probably who should have at minimum 2 goals, getting the worst of it. Bouncing ball, and a shot was table-topped by Grease. Under 15 minutes. Scoreboard has been blank for Aquinas since this season kicked off on August 22nd. But a single goal gets them back in, and with fairly short time, Radovic has been fantastic. He could possibly keep it there and escape. Just 6 shots on goal for Kalamazoo. It's not the same pace even that they had in their opener against U of M Dearborn. They had 8 shots on goal, in that one 23 shots total. Subs are coming on again here. Junior Matuza is back on. That's good to see for Kalamazoo. He was the one that came off, that is, at the last injury stoppage. Colby Connor comes out. So that's 25 for 15 in orange. The Aquinas sub was Carson Tucker coming out and Christian Trunk coming in, 18 for 26 in the maroon. Now does another run begin here? Look at the Jets! And a little bit too far. Now there's still something maybe to be created, especially because it's Henry Plumstead down there. Just the craftiest, the trickiest, and the most explosive of forwards. One of the finest that this MIAA has to offer. Throw in coming. Kalamazoo will still have a 0 in that corner kick category. To go an entire match without one and win, it's great to know that you can do it, but you don't want to have to consistently do that. Wide, and a couple of Kalamazoo attackers flew across the goal mouth. Kalamazoo is the only MIAA team already to have not allowed a goal on the season. And everybody's played too, so we're not catching you on too much of a technicality. Yander Eski solid in goal again. You have Calvin, the team that everybody picked first, a presumptive, probably first seed tournament team, and they've started allowing 6 goals in their first 2. Not really something they're probably super happy with. And Calvin's women's team as well, threatens for that top seed in the tournament and to win that tournament every single year. There's tons of space to be had. The Plumsteads are trying to share it. And maybe that's too much unselfishness. You rarely say it, but when you see it, it kind of jumps off at you because you would expect so often Henry to just take those and find a way to finish. Kondracki was getting arm barred a little bit. Now I think the foul goes on 13, Carter Hagan. Ironically, you look at the conference and how it shook out last year, you had Hope and Trine tied at the top. Calvin, of course, makes it all the way through that tournament, ends up making the long run in that national tournament. But yes, Hope and Trine had the fair claims to a better regular season last year than Calvin. Flag came out. Foul. Didn't quite see who they got for Kalamazoo. This is a free kick from not a bad spot. It's straight on if you want to shoot. Jandareski's hugging left post right now. Defensive left post, that is. Hosovic from dead on. Ruiz in the center of the wall. Something's got to budge. Served onto the goal. Saved. Jackson Jandareski, welcome to the college ranks. Not for a second has this guy been phased. And Radovic on the other side has all of this experience. Started last year, again, was in something of a timeshare with a sophomore keeper as well. That was Peyton Hoffman. But the numbers, quite good in a lot of ways. Saved 77.5%. Had 6 shutouts in his 15 starts. And Radovic has really done everything he could. The single Ruiz goal has caused Kalamazoo to take complete control, as it were, because of suffocating defensive performances. It's Pollinsvoigt, it's Batrial, it's Simon Sawyer. Pollinsvoigt is the one that knocks this one away. It's even some of your forwards getting involved in the defending. It takes a village to suffocate back-to-back teams like we've seen. 8 minutes, 20 seconds or so, throw in coming from way long range. Trey Collins gives it an absolute heave. This is launched, gonna be wide of goal. Pollinsvoigt, actually, Kondracki will put it right back out in almost that exact same spot and will reload it. Sawyer maybe got away with a little bit of a hook, grabbing the waist of Grease. Nonetheless, we're just going to have to continue to do this. This time it will be a corner kick, though. The last couple of throw-ins, still from Collins, had been in pretty good spots. 11 corner kicks, 2-0. A header denied. A defender down. A foul. There's a lot all going on at once here. Probably another trainer visit, you'd think. Well, now you got the keeper and a teammate all pulling him up. Let's see. Is that Brody Plumstead? Tough to tell. Indeed it is, Brody. Foul went on Edward Hudson. He is one of those 6 Saints separately to have racked up yellow cards. That's over half of your starting 11. It's a huge number. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to play. That's all that's standing between Jackson Jandereski in 2 consecutive shutouts to open his college career. Throw in again. Again, throw-ins and corner kicks, all with deep penetration, all in the final third, have made this a lot more interesting, perhaps than it should be. And look at the keeper, too. Radovic, you see him with a chance to really almost get involved in the attack from where he's playing right now. But on the other side, if a ball pops out and Kalamazoo has a breakaway, well, then there could be open net to worry about. Under 6 minutes. Radovic was credited with 1 shot, by the way, when he blasted one from a similar position up near that Hornet logo. He put it well left of goal, but I think he truly meant to challenge Jandereski in goal. The leader in shots in this match is Plumstead, unsurprisingly. Henry, again, with 4 of them. And Kalamazoo has only had to put 6 shots on goal. Ruiz netted the 51st minute score, and it's stood ever since. Five to play, but a good string of passes at first. And then a little bit too far up ahead of Aiden Bennett. This is way up into the stands again. Okay, now maybe you've started to hear that subtle but omnipresent tick, tick, tick. Sawyer with the 5-iron. Plumstead, I mean, Radovic has to be just itching. His skin's got to be crawling. Departing goal that much, that far, that often. And it's been mostly Brody and Henry Plumstead bearing down on him. Drip, drip, drip goes the clock. Eamon Burns throws this in. Brody Plumstead in the corner. Loses the possession here. Saints need to make something happen, and they need to do it real quick. An interception here makes that more difficult. Plumstead got wrangled a little bit, maybe around his wrist. Ruiz wanted another one in for Henry Plumstead. Brody, back for Henry. Plumstead unloaded. Not sure if that was supposed to be across all the way over for Batchall. Kind of surprised to see that out of him. Even so, the clock's still running as far as he's concerned. What's the harm? But, of course, another score there, 88th minute, and we're talking about, okay, this is put to bed. Collins Voigt to send it the right direction for Kalamazoo. Aquinas is only a couple of minutes and change away from 3 matches without a score and dropping to 0-2-1 to open the season. On a couple of hops, the keeper should lay down there, post up as long as he likes. bounced it a couple of times. And then as much clearance as you can give, as far as he can hit it, again, he should continue to do. Plumstead is down. Whacked on the shin. And does this with only a minute and 30-ish bring a stop? Okay, it doesn't. 1 minute and 27 seconds. Standing between Kalamazoo and 2 consecutive shutouts to open 2025. This ball is right on the flag for Brody Plumstead. And Brody here is going to be whistled as well with a slight impeding. Oh, that is a yellow on him too. That's one of the more surprising ones probably out of the 10 we've seen. Emphasis on 10. 4th yellow card to go on Kalamazoo. It's 6-4 though. Total in the yellow cards assessed to Aquinas. Throwing roughly the equivalent of Hail Marys right now. Searching for those prayers to be answered with under a minute. Sliced, maybe a little bit too far to the right from Hasevich. Blocked. Ruiz. Ooh, Plumstead wasn't able to clear. Gets a little bit more interesting, down to 40 seconds. Just cut off airspace, and 1 to 2 clearances should do this. A little bit of possession here is a great idea. Lay it up for Ruiz. He will chase it down. Ruiz held it as long as he could down that left sideline. Now only 20 seconds. That might have been enough. Down to 15, and you kind of see
10,
the decision's been made
7,
that this one's over.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So Jackson Jandareski's got to be thinking, this goalkeeping thing ain't that hard. That's back-to-back shutouts to open the career. The Hornets are 2-0. The MAC streak is alive. Everybody has won on it so far for the season, and this team is cooking. Lucas Ruiz has now scored in both matches out for Kalamazoo. His one score from the 51st minute, held up all the way through. We'll take a minute and breeze through the rest of the stats real quick. Aquinas puts 23 shots up, but only 5 of them on goal. Not the kind of ratio that is going to lead to big scoring outputs. It was a team that lost a ton of firepower from last season, and a lineup that scored 50 goals in their 20 matches gets blanked for the 3rd consecutive time to open 2025. Kalamazoo shoots 12 times, puts 6 of those on goal. The quality still being pretty high with those. And the one Aquinas goal that they're going to rue for quite a while was waved off on an offside call. 6 yellow cards to 4. 19 fouls on Kalamazoo, 17 against Aquinas. Incredibly physical, not a simpatico kind of contest, shall we say. 5 saves apiece for the keepers. Jackson Jandareski with back-to-back clean sheets to open up the career here in Kalamazoo. He's got 7 saves, not a single goal allowed. This kid belongs in goal. A single offside apiece. And again, that winning score is Lucas Ruiz, his 2nd game winner in the young 2025 season. We've already told you, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a while after this one. That's the sad news. Before we depart, we'll tell you that both men's and women's soccer have long road stretches upcoming. However, the good news, when we are back, it'll be over in Anderson Athletic Center with the volleyball team's home opener. That's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 9th versus Manchester. And for tonight, from Mackenzie Field, Kalamazoo College, I'm Tanner White. Thanks for joining us for the Kalamazoo men's soccer season opener, and congratulations to the Hornets defending the MAC with the 1-0 blanking of Aquinas.